at a deeper level, your subconscious is viewing another human validating your emotions. Welcome back to Uncivilized Rebirth. Here's a place that I hope you find a voice of reason, rationale, and logical arguments and tools to be presented for the case of healing. Many times we don't view ourselves as needing to heal or want to face what we need to step into to become the best version of ourselves. And with men, that can be a really slippery slope. I don't exactly know how it'd be a slippery slope, but let me put it this way. In our society, and maybe it might be changing with the soy boys, and I don't mean that to be rude, but there's a lot of men that lean way too heavy into their feminine and emotional, and then there's a lot of men that lean way too heavy in the other direction of being non-emotional and just absolutely masculine. But being a man, emotions are part of our being. And then also our past, our wounds, our traumas are part of who we are. But we can't fully embrace our full potential unless we heal from the past, which is covering up an amazing aspect of ourselves that we are protecting from the world. And then when we do not engage with our emotions, we are not able to empathize with others or sympathize. I believe that wholeheartedly. Because in the past, when I would be in the function of just a logarithm, basically, it's like, this happens, do this. If you hear this, do this, do this. It's like just a program being run. There's no emotions. My heart was completely shut off. So I had no empathy or sympathy or understanding of somebody that came to me with their emotions. And as a man, I should be able to sit with somebody in their emotions, validate their emotions, help them understand them, and help them to step through whatever they're going through that's bringing up these big emotions. And when I'm totally cut off from my heart, I can't engage at my maximum capability when I don't even know how to validate my own emotions. That's not saying that I don't know how now, but what I'm saying is, men, we have ego, we have society, and we have emotions to deal with to tap in or to understand, like, what are these emotions going on and how do I reconnect with my heart? As a young man, I know that I could get in trouble for showing emotions, so I was learning to repress those. As I got older, when I joined the military, it was not a space for your emotions. It's like you need to cut them off, basically, and you need to be this version of a human, an executing version. And it's like, okay. Well, for so long, the heart remains dormant and unconnected to, but still at this very visceral level, there's all these emotions that are still happening and they're being completely repressed. And eventually they come up and they will present in times when we are in a safe space to present that. Let's say at war or as a child, we weren't allowed to show anger because your superior would get mad. We're like, oh, you don't need to talk back. Or your father would whip you, if you showed anger. It's like, just suppress that emotion. You're not allowed to get mad at me. It's like, okay, cool. But now, a grown man will do the same thing when they have a space where it's like, okay, it's okay for me to get mad because this person cannot do anything back to me or will not. So I'm get all mad. When in reality, it might be like these sad emotions that need to be stepped into and felt, because emotions are like waves on the shore of the ocean. It's like they come up, they get bigger for a while, then they dissipate, then they go back down. It can get real choppy for a while, but there's always this even area that's going to be found. Whereas like a dam, that blocks everything up, and if that dam breaks, man, there is no even ground to be found. It's just until all of that is released. And if somebody's around when our emotional dams break, they pay the price. And then our relationships pay the price. One helpful tool I find as a man to validate your own emotions is if you don't have anybody that you can get upset around or get mad around or vent with, just look in a mirror. And while whatever emotion you're feeling, feel it 100%, look yourself dead in the eyes, and tell yourself it's okay to feel this way, no matter what the emotion is. Because that's the reality of it. It is okay to feel angry. It is okay to feel sad. It is okay to feel mad. It is okay to feel the whole spectrum of emotions, because those are part of our existence. Would the Creator create an element of our existence that was wrong to feel if you were a certain gender? Nope. Not at all. So when you're sitting there in your emotions, no matter how painful they are, and you're telling yourself that, hey, it is okay that I feel this way. I want to validate my own emotions. And at first it may feel silly and dumb. But at a deeper level, your subconscious is viewing another human validating your emotions. And it validates your emotions, and those huge, big, choppy waves start to calm down, because in your hearing that it's okay to feel this way. What makes those emotions worse and makes that whole situation terrible is when somebody tells you you're not allowed to feel this way. You can't feel this way. And then you have this inner turmoil of, I feel this, but I'm wrong for feeling it. And then you get this like a disconnect almost on the inside of like, I'm wrong for having these emotions. And I will use my example from my childhood. My father was a brutal man, and he had no space for emotions. And he had no idea how to validate his own emotions. So he had no clue how to teach me how to handle my emotions. Like that guy, I don't have anything to do with that guy, but it's like, if you learned how to validate your own emotions, the floodgates that would be let open would open your heart back up. But I think genuinely, and if you're watching this, parents, I think if y'all actually went in and opened the floodgates on your heart and validating your own emotions, the guilt there might be pretty heavy. But you know what? You would step into a better version of yourself. Because the way a lot of parents handle emotions in their children is absolutely wrong. And that will scar a human way into their adult life. The military, granted, a soldier does not need to have emotions on the battlefield. Morality, yes. But stepping into those emotions does not make for a safe environment to function as you need to function. But as an adult, as men, it's our job to understand our emotions and to feel our emotions and know how to validate our own emotions. Because in our society, and this is from my own experience, the stronger of a man you are, the harder you're going to be attacked. Because from what I've learned and seen is like there's this Cinderella concept where there's these women out there that just think they deserve the world and that no man should ever say anything to them, and men are stupid. And so they use the legal system, and this is my own experience, to attack strong men. And there's really not much of a support group there that I've found. Like entire groups of people will turn against a strong man because they just see him and they want to prey on him. But it's like, well, sometimes you pick the wrong prey. But let me take this back around to, we as men, we don't have the same support group that an entitled white woman has. Let's say that, like a Karen. We don't have that support group of all these girls coming around like, oh girl, you're awesome, you're good, destroy that man. It's like, so we need to learn how to self-moderate our own internal state. So when other people come to us with these things that they have going on, that we can help teach them to moderate their own internal state. And this is something that's taken me a long time to learn, but as I'm learning to moderate my internal state, it's making me overall a stronger, more stable person. And it's like, we are a multi-dimensional being. We have our spiritual aspect, we have our emotional aspect, we have our physical aspect, we have our mind, we have our brain, we have just a whole smattering of different systems to understand and utilize properly. And understand, like, when emotions are activated or triggered, it's for a reason, but we need to know how to control our bodies, our words, our thoughts when these big emotions come up, and choose how to handle them next. I guess the summary of all this is that if you're a man and you do have emotions, or you try to hide emotions, or you just have been disconnected from your heart for so long, step into those. Like, the next time you start to feel some anger, really feel the anger. Control your body, but feel that anger. Talk about it by yourself. For about 10 minutes, just say anything that you want to say about the subject and vent and vent. Validate your emotions in the mirror. If you're feeling sad, stand in that mirror and cry and talk to yourself. Nobody else has to see you. You'll still hold frame in public, but you're also going to be learning this emotional intelligence of what to do with these emotions. And usually what you are supposed to do with them is experience them and just feel it and let it wash over you. And it's not comfortable. It is not comfortable, and it is not fun. But that's the thing about sadness. It's an aspect of the human experience to feel a disconnect of something that was so important to us, that there's this deep, visceral part of us that is crying out in pain because it does hurt. It's a level of experience that your spirit outside of the human form can experience. And when you're plugged in, it's like this smattering of different sensations is wild. But part of being a person is learning to manage those, and not manage them as in like isolate them and push them away. Manage them as in, I know how to feel through this, and then I know what to do with this emotion. And that may be, if somebody has done something to offend you or make you angry, to break down the whole situation that got to that point, and then look for the signs that might step you into the same situation in the future, and just like sidestep that whole thing. Or emotions of sadness could be like, it's like, this is to validate the fact that you really truly cared about that person. So maybe you need to go express yourself, or maybe you just need to understand that this is a chapter that's closing, feel it, and then step into the next chapter. Okay. Men, we easily have a strong ego that we don't want anybody to see break. And we have emotions underneath there. And it's important to not only keep them in check, as in when they're shown, because in this society, it will be used against you like that if you show emotion. So being able to understand our emotions and have a higher emotional intelligence will help us navigate through this really weird, jacked up society. And every time you feel through your emotions, or you validate your emotions, think about it this way. You're getting another mark, or you're leveling up in your emotional intelligence. It's like chink, 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 going up, going up, going up. So you're not being some pansy or sissy. Like the creator universe made warriors and emotions, warriors with emotions. So it's just part of the experience. But just realize that you are increasing in your experience and you're increasing your skill sets. I'm going to try to end this video again. Well, I didn't already try to end it, but I'm not good at ending videos. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you have any comments, please leave them below. If they're rude, just don't leave them. But if they are rude, I'm going to ignore it and I'm going to respond to it in a very kind way. And if it's a positive affirmation comment, please leave it. That's super cool. Either way, I'm done. Roadhouse, I'm now going to end the video.